Welcome to the year in review.
Yeah, I've done this a few times before. I think they're private now, but I did like a 2018, a 2019, and I think a 2020 year in review. And then we forgot. I haven't done like a sit down, like what the fuck did we get up to this year? Mainly because the past couple years we've been documenting a lot of it on the internet.
True.
But this year we did a lot of things offline. So now you get to catch up with Kai and Jeff.
Welcome 2024 when you get here. But in the meantime,
we're filming this on New Year's Eve.
Like it's literally there are fireworks outside. We finished moving into this very spot, the new condo.
This exact couch. We live in this couch.
But yeah, no, we've lived here for about a year. Less done than I would have liked.
It's been busy. Because also, I got a new job because the one I had before that sucked. Also in January, Panic at the Disco broke up, which I'm sure everybody remembers because I was having a fucking great time with that. Dallin Weeks, you have the opportunity to be the funniest bitch alive at any given moment.
What exactly would he do? Here's something that I know was new for this year because you've done this before. I went through and added my points, so some of them are
Kai related,
me related. I literally went through my Instagram stories and was like, oh yeah, that happened, and it was an arbitrary choice. For example, apparently my first contribution to this list was I remember in January I hallucinated that Kingdom Hearts 4 had come out. I don't know if you remember.
I do actually.
I literally,
you convinced me that it had.
I woke up one morning and I was just like, oh my god, we missed Kingdom Hearts 4.
You convinced me that it had come out and it was taking place in like Shibuya Scramble or something.
Well, that's true. We do know that.
Yeah.
I also added that I got Pokemon Violet, and I do feel like that affected both of us because
one of my coworkers is a huge gamer streamer person, and he will routinely, because he knows Kai is super into Pokemon and Zelda, if anything big like the Pokemon DLC that came out recently happens, he'll be like, hey Jeff, are you aware of this? And I'm like, no, I'm not the gamer,
but I'll pass it on.
But I'll tell Kai.
It's really sweet,
and it's genuinely a wholesome interaction.
Yeah, we love Rob. Rob, if you're watching.
Rob.
I also put in there, I did not get a shiny Larvitar, which was in Pokemon Go. Still devastated.
But we did find a cat outside. Not that we brought into our house. There is like a stray cat. She's I don't even think she's a stray. I think she's like somebody's indoor-outdoor cat because like she'll fart around. But she had like a red collar and bell on the first couple times.
And we found, spoiler alert for December, but we found very recently where her house is because the owners have a cat tree outside their house for her, and it's really cute.
February was, it seems like we didn't really do much online because I went through my Twitter and my Instagram stories, went through his Instagram stories to kind of compile this, and I actually found nothing in February worth talking about. Like, I think in February I was just like, I'm at my new job and I'm learning and I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
New job, new house, we are busy.
Like I've got a lot of outdoor stuff going on. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
You found a couple of things though.
So we were doing house stuff, like starting, I think that was probably the month where we did a lot of the ceiling. I remember we did not go to Katsu. We were trying really hard to go to Katsu.
It just didn't happen.
It didn't work out, which was really sad. But
we're going this year.
But we did go to Universal instead. I had a couple photos from that.
Oh, good.
We specifically went like that Saturday to Universal.
I feel like, fuck it, we're balling.
Or at least we're doing something. I can't remember the context for this. I was in a kick of laughing about the making your way downtown, walking fast,
faces passing
and homebound. That song, I was like obsessed with that song. So I did like a very stupid story on my Instagram of a really ugly Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls plushie to that song. So that's what that means. You guys aren't looking at the list. It just says
Bubbles making her way downtown.
So that means literally actually nothing other than I made a story. I think, again, this is like in February, so I didn't really know what you wanted me to put on here yet.
He didn't understand the assignment. He was like, this happened in February. Does he even care?
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound.
And then we were watching Buddy Daddies in February.
We started watching Buddy Daddies in February, and then we didn't finish it, even though it's like a 8-episode series.
Tall. Yeah, it's not long.
It's not long.
It's cute
because we watched Trigun. We have starting off strong with Trigun's the end of March.
My bad.
Strong with Ryan Seaman stealing from IDK How. I also somehow managed to predict that like 30 minutes before the guy from Falling in Reverse was like, Ryan Seaman actually sucks. I was like, is Ryan Seaman still in IDK How?
Prophet! I prophesy! I have sight right, I say.
There was the final Panic at the Disco show set list that got dropped, and it
yeah.
had the entirety of Viva Las Vengeance in the middle of it, and I thought it was a joke.
Brendan, be serious.
I
Brendan.
genuinely thought it was fake.
Jade!
Yes!
Jade came into our lives. Thank you once again, Jeremy.
My cousin.
Jeremy should really make an appearance on this channel at some point for
yeah.
a variety of reasons. He dropped off Jade. We love her. Honestly, I feel like there's less footage of her than some of the other, like our other cats. I feel like we've done less lives this year, but she's out here.
She's been in a couple videos. On a sad note, my maternal grandfather died, so we drove up to North Carolina for the funeral. It wasn't out of nowhere. He had many medical complications, and it was one of those, like, okay, you're like, what, 93 years old? It is your time. I got to go to the funeral as well.
Y'all don't have to believe in this kind of thing, and I've told you this though. Like, I felt some kind of kinship with your grandfather, even though I didn't meet him. So
we also went to a fair,
the Central Florida Fair. So we went like one night randomly.
We just randomly because your work had tickets.
And that was where that big beautiful picture of the moon that I asked about. That's where that was. I remember. In March was when I had this like resurgence of art that was really strong, which was really nice. So I threw that in the timeline.
Technically at the end of March, but I put it in April because that's really when it hit. Is when we watched Trigun Stampede.
Yeah.
April to me, there's other things that happened in April, but April to me is just Trigun. Apparently in April, I came up with the idea for Wedding Dress Wolfwood. Right off the bat, I was like, oh, he's the bride? Heard. I also came up with the idea for the Vashwood Kid fic, which I will link below if I don't forget. That ended up being my Vashwood Big Bang fic that I wasn't in yet, but I came up with the idea and I talked to Kai about it while he was in the soup for like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And you let me.
Yeah.
That's love.
Because it's good. Well,
That's
it's
love.
a good fic.
Yeah,
Read the fic. Please read the fic. It's really good. Listen, these kids, they're our kids now.
We also watched Badlands Rumble for the first time, which we did not watch it stoned, but then we watched it stoned later.
Great movie to watch while you're feeling a little silly.
You should not be watching it fully sober because you won't get it. It's not a good movie. It's a fun movie.
It's not good. It's fun.
It's fun.
In April, we did our first cost test of them.
There's
so they were not complete yet, but,
but we were like, we gotta
get in there. Get in there. Get in there. I will say that was refreshing to be like, we went in. We saw a semi-local, semi-big. They're Orlando-based, but a big band called Dark Divine with my best friend who's also named Kai, but different spelling. We saw them at a cool little pub down the road. It was a great freaking show. It was awesome. We were headbanging in the fucking mosh, and like they smashed their face into my shoulder, and you can see like this giant spot, and it was iconic. They got a nosebleed. Super iconic. It's a good time. Don't get a nosebleed, but also go to shows.
Go to shows. Support your local scene.
I also, I'm very proud of this.
You figured out the washing machine.
So we got a washing machine from a friend, Sorsha. They gave us a washing machine that they no longer needed. It's a nice washing machine, but we got it in the house. It did a couple loads and then it stopped working. And it seemed to be a mechanical issue. I ripped that bad boy apart. I found the circuit boards. I bought the parts. I reconnected the circuit boards. And it works again, baby. Also in April, I did some animation on a movie that was kind of a study and a history of the Central Florida queer scene that actually was in the Florida Film Festival. That was huge. That was awesome. It's a complex film, I think.
You want to name drop it?
Greetings from Queertown, Orlando. I don't think it's available online yet, or when it would be.
We'll link it below.
We'll link something to it. But it was done by the newspaper I work for. More Trigun!
Holy shit. We finally got around to watching 98. I immediately was like, Millie, I love you.
As you should.
You are correct. This is also when I actually joined the Vashwood Big Bang and thus the kid fic. The Biggest Dickless shit happened.
Oh yeah, y'all remember that?
Yeah, included our friend Rashid sending us, because they already like How to Win the Time War, and they just had a couple extra copies because they work in a bookstore, and they were like, I'll send you one. So we got a free book from our friend who already liked the book and hasn't, to my knowledge, watched Trigun.
Good book, awesome. What a cultural event.
That was wild.
That was a great cultural event.
I had people that are at this point, like they're friends that I've had for years who are more in the publishing side of things and or not in Trigun but in fandom in general, who were posting about it. Oh, we also went to MomoCon, which really solidified meeting a bunch of Trigun friends, which insert clips from the MomoCon vlog, which I have no reason not to do that given they literally are already on my laptop.
Yeah.
We went to a Trigun meetup. It was probably the best meetup I've ever been to.
It was so good. And like, do you want to do any name drops here? Because what I recall specifically, to me, the most important thing of that meetup was soup.
Oh yeah, Soup was the star of the show.
The
Soup
star.
is our friends Dan and Grace's Bash plushie.
Because also, if you've been on this channel, you know damn well we love soup here.
Yeah, we are
in
soup
all
fans.
forms, Vash plushie or broccally cheddar.
Mm-hmm.
All of the above.
So, yeah, MomoCon was very fun, and that was kind of how we wrapped May up. Because then in June, I wrote more Trigun. Like, literally, it just Trigun for like half the year.
At
if
least.
not more.
If not more. I think
Like,
it might be more.
It really was like 6 months of just, I have only thought about Trigun and nothing else. Because in June, we actually did go and get the Wolfwood wedding dress, as well as a couple other pieces for MomoCon. We got that shit for $20 because the thrift store we went to, we lived like right across the street from it. We happened to go on a day where the whole store was half off.
Unintentional.
Didn't plan that, but we were like, cool, here we got a bunch of random shit, including the wedding dress.
We found bright red dress pants that would fit and be perfect. And I found a bright red blazer that was extra long, which if you know me, I need all my shit to be very long. It was fate. It was meant to be.
I wrote in here I started the Vash one. Oh, no, that's just Vashwood TA fic, not Vashwood Kid fic. The Vashwood TA fic, which I'm not going to link because that's much more adult themed than the kid fic.
If you are an adult,
kind of
check it
popped
out.
off. We also, in June, we went to AFO. We met a lot of your friends there, like Steph, Katrina.
Yeah, Steph, Katrina, Moira, we got to
and
know.
Ronnie, we got to know.
That was awesome. Moira, Ronnie, we
Josh
love you.
was also there.
Josh.
Not my brother Josh. His
Other
friend
Josh. Jess was there, which was great.
Fall Out Boy released their version of We Didn't Start the Fire, and everybody had an opinion on it, and I was just like, fuck yeah, I love that for y'all. Like, having a good time.
I think it slaps, and if you don't like it,
I agree with the criticism of why isn't it in order, but also like,
it has to rhyme, it's a song.
Whatever. Somebody had to pull the plug and make the updated version, and of course it was going to be Pete Wentz. Breadstick came home. Breadstick, our little guy.
Yeah.
I feel like
made
he's very
home.
important that we put him in there.
He went on an adventure to get here. I remember he was gonna go.
I put the address in wrong,
but he got here. That's what matters. Also through my work, we got to go to midnight water park times.
Yes,
which is always fun. In Central Florida, there's this thing called Gay Days, and there's a big water park party at Typhoon Lagoon. And it's awesome. So we got to go to that. We also got to go to Aquatica. A lot of things were closed for Aquatica because it wasn't as big of a party, but that was a good time. I got, for the first time in my fucking life, a big set of Copic markers. I literally brought them with me to and from work for like a week just because I didn't want to leave them alone in the house.
We also did the wedding dress photo shoot with the couch image, which blew the fuck up on Twitter. That wasn't even like the finished version of the wedding dress. I had not tailored it. The veil was a random sheer curtain we found. I wanted so bad to be the first brilliant person to do a wedding dress Wolfwood, and I did it. And I'm proud of myself for that. Usually I'm not the first person to do something. Oh, because also the last thing that we have for June is the St. Pete Pride.
Yeah, that was just fun. We brought breadstick. It was really cute. There was a lot, and if we go back, if you want to put any of them on my stories, breadstick at Pride. Yeah, that was really cute.
We saw a friend from home at Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot,
and hung out with him. Oh yeah, in July I changed my name from Welsh Bastard to Welsh Baz Cosplay because we had a discussion. We occasionally will have like little business talks about what do we look like online? What's our online presence? How are people perceiving
Can
us?
we build this to be bigger? You know, I think
part of that was
if we're gonna do panels,
then I should have not a swear word in my name. Anyway, my QA came on stage with Fall Out Boy. We all shat ourselves.
You shat yourself.
Those who know shat themselves.
I mean, I get it.
The Pete Key lore is they probably banged in 2005 and Pete probably had like a hard time with it. That man is definitely bisexual. I will stand on that bridge until I am pushed off of it. But they are not in love anymore. They have wives / adjacent wives and children. We also went to MetroCon where we did something really gay.
Well, that was the wedding. You already spoiled.
Well, we could talk about the wedding. It was fucking great.
What else? I mean, you already spoiled all that.
Do you not want to talk about the wedding?
What else is there to say?
It was good. It was pretty much improv. Moira officiated.
We made a lot of friends. It was a really good time. It was essentially like an unsanctioned MetroCon event.
Like we were not like a panel or anything. We were just like, yeah, we're off in this corridor. We're doing a fucking Vashwood
We're doing a thing.
It felt very 2010 con.
It was really fun. I would have never had the guts to do that until I met you. Yeah, I don't know how we're ever going to top that.
No, that was it. That was the peak. We also saw the Barbie movie not long after with a couple of friends.
That was really good. That was
fun. We went down to
I cried.
Disney Springs for it.
We went to Disney Springs and we changed our minds and then went to Universal.
Oh, because it was sold out.
Oh yeah, it was sold out at Disney Springs. We went to Universal for it.
And we also saw Fall Out Boy in Tampa.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I really wanted to see Fall Out Boy in Tampa, so...
Oh, that was a bit of an ordeal, but
Yeah.
it worked out because my work has an office in Orlando and in Tampa. So in
Technically St. Pete.
St.
but-
Pete, but that's closer. You worked from home that day, and I worked in St. Pete that day, and we just left from St. Pete to Tampa. So we missed the opening. The
first
most
opener.
we saw at least one of the openers.
We
That's
saw
right.
the other 2 openers. We
Yeah.
saw the Rats, and then we
The
saw
Rats.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh yeah, we didn't know they were British. It was silly.
They played Head First Slide, and I lost
Yeah.
my fucking shit. I didn't get to hear Bang the Doldrums live, but I'll live.
We will.
If we see them again in Orlando this year, then perhaps Pete Wentz.
Pete Wentz, play it or die.
Pete Wentz?
Mr. Wentz.
Peter, I have given you ample money to your bank account.
Also,
Oh yeah, the most important thing in July.
Per my Instagram story in July, every morning before work, Jeff has a bagel
You have
and
2 pieces of
I
toast.
have 2 pieces of toast. And one morning, my toast in particular looked like the letter B, and you may know what bagels look like. And if you put them in an order, they make a funny word.
Boob.
So that was a highlight.
Oh, yeah.
That was a highlight.
That was the most interesting thing that happened in July.
August.
It was not a super eventful month, I feel like.
No, I think July was so busy between
That we just
the
were like-
concert, between MetroCon. August was pretty dead. I'll let you say the other thing in a minute, but
Yeah.
I do remember I installed a light fixture for the first time, which is still right
your
up
kitchen.
there. I was proud of that. I enjoy being handy. I enjoy house
Yeah.
repairs, like genuinely.
I think it's cool that you are. The other thing of note that happened, unfortunately, is that one of my cousins overdosed. We were not able to go for the funeral because I feel like it was one of those kind of last minute. We'd both taken a fair amount of PTO for other things. I wasn't super close with this particular cousin just because he was like 8 years older than me or something, but it was unfortunate. And I hope my aunt, his mom, and their family are doing okay. We went to ColossalCon East.
That was a really good con.
really good because neither of us have gone to a ColossalCon before.
No, I have every intention of going back.
You had your first art show.
I did. That was September. That was the weekend after ColossalCon. That was awesome. That was exciting. That was scary. That was everything I could have asked for and more. A lot of friends came out. Kai, who we've mentioned, Abigail, who's Kai's sister, Josh again, Storm,
Moira,
Ronnie, Vern, Dusty, Kara.
Rem. A lot of people came.
A lot of people
Is
came
the
out.
point.
Really grateful for that opportunity. That was at the Center Orlando, which is an LGBT center here. Hopefully we get to do that again.
You also randomly drew Gojo.
Oh yeah. So before we started watching Jujutsu
Because
Kaisen,
we did watch JJK during September.
we did, but before we started watching, I was experimenting with this idea I had for a type of art, and I was like, you know who I'm gonna draw? That blue-eyed guy, that blue-eyed twink from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Also, we got potato salad at ColossalCon East. We're not doing
Oh,
September
yeah.
in order at this point. I'm just reading random shit off of it, and I think he's the last thing on there. Potato salad is the 98 Vash plushie. I love him.
Yes.
Kai is mean to him.
I love him.
You're mean to him.
I know, it's like it's love.
Okay.
This will mean nothing to a lot of people, but I would love to include it. I use Facebook and a while ago joined a group. There is a thing that exists at Home Depot. It is a 12-foot tall skeleton that white middle-aged moms are obsessed with.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw this thing and I was like, you know what I am at heart, a white middle-aged mom. I joined the Facebook page to witness this guy. And anyway, I found him at Home Depot one day. I think the last thing in September is my aunt passed away, which was really rough. We had some things.
The back half of the year was just
A lot.
a lot.
She was older. She was approaching 70. I don't think she was 70 though. But she had brain cancer a couple years ago, which she recovered from, which was awesome. After the brain cancer, maybe like a couple months, year later, something like that, she did go into a home to just have assistance, and she fell, and she lived a couple extra weeks after the fall, but it wasn't good. So she passed away, and that definitely triggered a lot of changes in my life.
I mean, we did a whole video about Motown Con.
Oh yeah.
So that the beginning of October, it really was one of those, oh, good lord, this is where we're going. Okay.
Please if you're watching this and have not watched the Motown thing,
adventure.
Please,
watch
I
it.
rewatched that video the other day, and like
We really went through it.
we went through. Go watch that video for that part of the story, I guess.
A good thing that came out of it was before that, Kai had a little art festival called Pancakes and Booze.
Yes.
And had fun there.
Yes,
And
that
you
was
also
good.
got to try cheer wine for the first time.
I did get to try cheer wine. Love cheer wine. We also did AWA, which
Yep.
we literally like ran up for a day,
Yeah,
essentially.
like a day and a half.
Day and a half. But we saw Quinn. We did not see Reagan, which is sad. We saw Dan and Grace. We saw Kieran and Ariel.
Yep. We saw Ronnie.
But no, and that was 100%. Even though we were only there for like a day and a half,
That
it
was
worth
very
it.
fun. And then you also started a idea for a comic.
I started conceptualizing this idea for a comic. I'm really excited about. It's still kind of in progress. No, that's it. That's all I'll say
Yeah.
about it right now. Like, watch my art Instagram is what I'm saying.
We went to Universal.
We went to Universal again.
Very
I think October. I put gritty photo shoots. So Abigail,
Right.
Kai's sister, moved a couple
Across the
states away,
country.
literally across the
Yeah.
country. But she came over. Like they both came over. But she did like a little shoot with gritty. I think that was in October.
I feel like it was October.
I have at least one picture on my phone that looks like it was from the Gritty photo
Yeah.
shoot. So Gritty photo shoot. Orlando Pride we went to, and we got to do VIP.
Yeah.
And I started, not that they have been revealed on this channel yet, I did start new Hawkswings, which hopefully will be done by Katsucon.
In November, I got into my first zine, which I'm still working on and will still be working in when this posts. It's called Smoke and Nectar. It is a Vashwood zine. I can talk about it because they've already said that I'm in it. Very excited about that, so
It's
check
an
that out.
SFW.
It's an SFW, yes.
Yeah, so be aware.
At the beginning of November, Vern, who we mentioned earlier, who was a coworker and friend of mine, on the way home from work was hit by a speeding driver and unfortunately did not make it. And literally the day that he was declared dead was the same day that my work promotion became official, and it was very awkward and bittersweet because he was very supportive and he was consistently in like the work group chat being like, all right everybody, study with me, we're gonna learn more stuff, and he dropped like a random fact about whatever he was working on a cert for. He also was very interested. I had shared a Google Drive with him of one of my writings. He'd been to Kai's art show. He'd gotten a piece of Kai's art not long before. It was hard.
That was
hard.
That was brutal. It's hard. It still feels like I want to talk to him in this video. You know, sometimes when we mention people, I'm like, well, if you're watching, and I know most of the people that happens with him, they're not watching, but Vern feels like he should be watching. So he was the first person to have bought one of my pieces at the big show.
Spotify Wrap dropped in the middle of all this. Like, I don't know how to transition from this to the rest of it. It was just like, November fucking sucked.
November was awful. Talk about your Spotify Wrapped. What were your top 5 songs?
My top artist was Fall Out Boy. So the top 5 songs in order were Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks, Boombastic by Shaggy, Without Me by Eminem, Hey Sexy Lady by Shaggy, and Government Hooker from Lady Gaga. Because this year Spotify also did the like, where are you most likely from?
Oh, yeah.
I got Fort Collins, which is funny because that's my last name. And the bands it chose for me were IDK How, which tracks, Silver Sun Pickups, which is a band I've liked since like 2008, and Tiny Meat Gang, which tracks, but is really fucking funny because that is a comedy rap duo from Cody Co from YouTube.com
Cody
and
for
Noel
Kosin.
Miller. And then the last 3 things you put on here were the Spooky Ice Cream Truck Night.
Randomly at like at least
9?
9, maybe 10 p.m. in our neighborhood, an ice cream truck was driving around with the music playing. Super creepy, but it was worse because they came back. Fiesta in the Park, which
Yes,
was
at the beginning of the month.
which was at the beginning of the month,
But-
which was a big festival
Yeah.
around Lake Eola here in Orlando. That was awesome.
Did pretty good there too.
It did good. We met CJ's baby.
Our
What-
friend CJ
has a
and Jess
baby.
had a baby.
I don't know
and we got
what
to meet the
information we
baby.
need to blur out.
That's all we're gonna say about it. They have a baby.
We have a friend. We have friends with a baby. The baby is very little. We met the baby. I
baby was
held
also
the
very
baby.
cute.
The baby was super cute. CJ, if you're watching, we love your baby.
We
Done.
went to your family's for Thanksgiving, and you had
Oh.
a bunch of cousins you didn't know you had.
So the aunt that's left, her and her wife hosted Thanksgiving and invited her cousin who is a grandmother. So her son, his wife, and their 4 kids were all there. And I've never met any of them before. It was really, really nice, actually. And after that fuck of a year, it was a really nice thing to end on, I think.
So Vern, obviously we went to his funeral to console his parents.
It was brutal.
He was Christian. It felt like the right thing to do. But we were there, and on the way home, because we didn't join the procession, we just kind of headed back home. Literally 5 minutes from the church, I got rear-ended, and a hole got punctured in the back of my car. And the guy was nice, polite about it.
Thank God.
Uh-huh.
Because also, you know what we didn't include? Going back to early November at Fiesta in the park, a woman, while we were fucking unload the car, smashed my mirror. She was trying to run, for sure. You bolted trying to chase her. She did a big ass U-E in the fucking intersection, screeched the tires. All that to say,
Thank
including
God, this guy.
that, and then all the death and the funeral and the blah blah blah. If this guy wasn't nice, I think we would have lost our fucking shit.
Oh yeah. You then, after that, had your second art festival.
It was really good overall. Met a lot of good people. I'm very happy for the connections made. I'm happy to have gone out there. But stay tuned for the story. We went to Hallmat. My birthday / Hallmat was on Thursday. We went down for a couple hours and it was awesome. We literally
saw so many fucking
we walked
friends.
in the door and immediately saw friends. So
Yeah.
that was really good. Thank you everyone who did say hi. We did Christmas with both families. So we went back to my aunt's. Same group of people I just mentioned. All the cousins were back for Christmas.
We drove up to Atlanta to see my dad's side of the family.
Because your uncle
my
invited you,
us,
yep.
and it was less than usual because my aunt who lost her son was not there,
Which
and
is
her kids were not there,
understandable.
which is completely understandable. We stayed in Atlanta that night. I worked from like a cafe the next day, and then we drove home. And on the way home, just to add insult to injury, we took the back roads in Florida because we don't do toll roads. And
Oh, I
it's like
forgot about this.
1:30 at night.
Oh my god!
It's foggy
we were in the middle
of nowhere.
I have a video of the fog and the darkness and
Yeah.
the nothingness.
It was spooky. It was like a 2-lane each direction, and there was a guy standing in the middle of the road who Kai saw like a split second before I did scream, "There's a person in the road!" I threw my blinker on, scoot to the left lane.
I think it was an attempt. Called 911 and I
Yeah.
called back the next morning just to see if we could get some closure, but no, they
didn't
never
have
found
anything.
him. Literally yesterday, our cabinets have been broken forever and I rebuilt them.
Yeah.
So I continue.
And they're good now.
I continue to be a little handyman.
And that kind of covers it.
We want to keep doing what we've been doing, and I'm excited for new cosplays. We have several new cosplays planned.
We've mentioned JJK a couple of times, and Chainsaw Man, we've mentioned Buddy Daddies, and we're also going to be revamping definitely Dobby Hawk.
Yes.
Probably at some point Bashwood, just to like touch them up.
I think we have a really solid plan and we're excited.
Yeah.
So hopefully the year treats us good.
How was your year?
Yeah.
What do you?
What's your goals?
2024?
One thing.
One goal.
It can be paint a painting. It can be get your first cosplay. It can be
Go to your first con. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Happy fucking New Year, even though it's already 2024 by
When
the
you see
time we
this.
post this.
be fucking nice. Happy 2024.